Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for September 11th, 2025, I'll run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc. It's funny, I was saying September 11th just then, and then made me remember. And then remembered, it's a tragedy. And then yesterday, some more tragedy stuff happening. So kind of sad, maybe just take a minute real quick just to say, it's not cool when sad stuff happens, but let's try to stay positive and help each other out in the meantime. But morning, Ultronomous Jim Killix. Good to see you guys. That song I was playing was from Super Robot Wars. I'll say if I'm getting anything out of Super Robot Wars Y, it's the music. Just sitting there listening to the music, I almost feel like that is fun enough with the game, even though the game doesn't really have much going on. I don't know. It's a weird one, which maybe I need to reframe when I come across something that I'm not sure what I think about it. It's like, do I have to like something or dislike something? Maybe I can just acknowledge something. I don't know. Oh, Jim Killix, I still remember where I was that morning. Yeah, that's, and I might have even said it on this show before. It was kind of the same thing. I think I was a senior in high school when my dad was waking me up. He's like, "Hey, man, I think some buildings or some airplanes hit a building." So, Jim Killix, Super Robot Wars music is always a total bop. I know it is. That and the G Generation. Japanese composers for mainline companies like Bandai, Konami, etc., Capcom, they make great music. Although I can't necessarily say from Capcom, other than Street Fighter, that there's a bunch of music. It's mainly Konami, Bandai, stuff like that. Anyway, let's go into what I've been playing. Panzer Dragoon Remake. So do you remember yesterday when, I think it was yesterday or the day before, they've announced that they're coming out with the Panzer Dragoon sequels, Zwei. I don't know how you'd pronounce it. And then I was like, man, I remember playing Panzer Dragoon Orta on Xbox, but never beat it. And then obviously there's the original, which I didn't realize has been available on all consoles. So I bought it on the Switch. On the Switch too, Panzer Dragoon Remake runs fine out of the gate. But in the options, there's a setting for a performance mode. When you turn it on, I think I kind of like it. So here's something. I'm playing Panzer Dragoon Remake on Switch. Well, there's the morning sneeze. On Switch, not PC or Xbox or PS5, which I don't know what the graphics would look like if they would be better, because it seems like Panzer Dragoon Remake has a slight, it still holds on to that sort of Saturn style graphics, or it's almost like PS1, but then anyway, I turn on performance mode and it seems to even further make it look like a Saturn title, but high frame rate. So, look, I don't know how much any of that matters. It's fun playing Panzer Dragoon, like that type of game. Space Harrier, there's Ashura Striker came out earlier this year. Oh, you just downloaded it. Nice. Yeah, and I just can't believe, too, like, I didn't realize this was released. I wonder if it's because I was confusing it with Orta, and so I was just like, oh, well, At the time, though, I found out you could buy Panzer Dragoon Orta on Xbox right now, $10. So, anyway, yeah, played a little bit of that. Or it says an hour and 9 minutes. I don't know if I played a whole. Yeah, maybe I did. Okay, and then jumping into some more Super Robot Wars Y. I played maybe a map or two, maybe 2 maps, and that was it for my gaming yesterday. I didn't do too much gaming, but there is a weird thing when I was saying, like, do you have to like it or dislike a game? Can you just acknowledge its experience? That's what I feel like with the Super Robot Wars series. Let me see if I can. So I'll show some screenshots. Like, here is Camille in the Hyakushiki Kai, full armored. And that's like awesome. Like, I wouldn't expect that. Like, if you're a Gundam fan, like, you would understand what all that is. Okay, let's see some other cool screenshots I might have. Check this out. Like, I have the Force Impulse, and with Shin. And so whenever he would have these battles, I was trying to like take the screenshot right at the right time. Like, this looks cool. It really does. Even him after the slash. That looks cool. What else? What was another? I feel like this almost doesn't make sense. Steam's because it's like, okay, there's some other image, but when I click, it like goes past all of them. Help me. Isn't there a way where I could just go to view and I can't just go to the next? What? I don't know. Something to show here is Amuro and Char. This is not really for this. This is probably more for Gundam Explained, but thanks for setting all of this up. I'll drop the prejudice now. Wow. So Char and Amuro working together again. Anyway, why can't I? Here we go. I think I was looking for this. There we go. It's the grid view. So just to show you some other stuff, here's Bright Noah. What? I wish I could just press the arrow and then I had to get the ship. There's an explosion. Amuro in the prototype, or not prototype, the mass production new Gundam. And there it is. Yeah, it looks great in this. And then there's Emma in the Mark II. That's by default. I was like, heck, look, that's a great picture right there. And then, Amuro showed up in the Rigazi. So, anyway, that's what makes this game bearable for me, is because I understand or I know the IP, some of the IP from it. It's fun when those scenes come up. I probably won't talk too much more about the game other than me casually playing it on this channel. But if you are interested in more of a discussion, I'll be talking about it today on the Gundam Explained show. And I'll probably have a video review out next week for it. I just want to play it some more. Even though I think 7 hours is enough to give an opinion, I'll probably play it some more. Okay. Camille was... Oh, I have it downloaded. Yeah. Camille was supposed to pilot the Hyakushiki Kai. Full armor Hyakushiki Kai. Isn't that crazy? I enjoyed the beginning of the game was just the ending of Code. Oh, is that what all that meant? Because I didn't know, because I haven't watched Code Geass. So I don't know what to expect from the story. And maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what I do, because playing Super Robot Wars, I am seeing the new Super Robots in terms of new for me that I'm like, oh, I know that's supposed to be from. And then I should just watch those shows. I might do that. Okay, let's jump into some news. Sony launches new PlayStation Parental Control app. But let's just look at this real quick. I don't know. I'm even at a point where I don't really need to do that for my kids anymore. Depends what it is. It just made me think of something, but I have to remember to do later. I guess not much more. Not much more to say other than, Sony do, and it's an interesting thing, right? Because Nintendo has that set up, but not all services do. But I almost feel like a lot of services should. Like, isn't it like Instagram or social media where it's like if you're a certain age and only like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, because I'm wondering, what does Sony get out of this other than trying to align closer to Nintendo? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, Sonic Racing Cross World single player demo launches September 17th for PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. So they had the network test like a week or two ago, and it was a lot of fun. It played and felt different enough to be enjoyable. It seemed like it was a little tougher than Mario Kart, maybe at first glance. So not only did they have the network test, but then they're going to have a single player demo. I think this is a good marketing strategy, and I think it works, just throwing everything out there about, and look, it's going to be on, the demo will not be available for PS4, Xbox One, but it is for Series and PS5. So that's still okay. Wow, that is really neat. So September 16th, 9 p.m. Pacific. It will be available. And it's like I almost don't care about the demo. By now with this game, especially after the network test, it's fun. I'm buying the game. So anyway, pretty cool. Okay, Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best-selling PlayStation game of all time in the US, but Call of Duty dominates the top 20. So that's interesting. So this is the best-selling PlayStation games of all time. We got Grand Theft Auto 5, and we got wait a minute. There's by revenue and by units sold. Interesting. But what's also interesting is seeing by units sold Minecraft, and by revenue, and that's number 2. By revenue, number 2 is Modern Warfare. Both of these are Microsoft properties. Isn't that interesting how that works? And then we got Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty, Minecraft, Call of Duty, golly. And then even San Andreas. And Spider-Man has units sold on PlayStation. Even Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock is best-selling PlayStation. There's a lot. When I look at something like this, it's like I feel like I would have the magic ball for executives, because there's a huge delineation when it comes to budgeting and where you should be putting money. And it's like, it's obvious that, these types of games are the games that are going to make you the money. And so you see these companies try with other properties. And I'm mainly talking about Sony, actually. Even Microsoft. And it's like, I think Microsoft is better at it. I feel like with some of their smaller titles, they do not throw a lot of money at it, but Sony tends to make their games like big deals, big budget deals, but they're not this sort of Grand Theft Auto 5 is more of a Avengers. It's like, an Avengers movie? I guess I'll watch it. It doesn't matter who you are, Same with Call of Duty. It's like, first person shooter game to play? Call of Duty. These things are they are of themselves, if that makes sense, right? And I feel like a lot of executives, again, they look at stuff like this and they're like, oh, that's what we should do. But notice how similar or the same series these games are that are on this list. It's like that thing where you make a game that does well and then another company wants to copy it. It's like that doesn't mean it's going to do well. Roblox announces new AI tools for creators. The AI updates will offer creators artistic freedom, enhanced functionality, and smarter development assistance, says Roblox. That'd be interesting to try, especially because they have the IP thing where you can make a game based on... Hold on. Another sneeze. What's up with that? Yeah, you can make a game based on a handful of IPs that are partnering with Roblox, and I think Sega and Bandai Namco. I think it's Sega, EA. I forget the companies, but anyway, so you can share revenue. AI tools. That's very interesting. I think that's the future. That's the future anyway. Is going to be AI tool integration with these video game development to the point to where here's an interesting thing to talk about. That everybody's Hot Shots Golf that came out just yesterday, actually. And let me see if it has any sales. So this game made by Bandai Namco, or I guess published by Bandai Namco. Let's see, there it is. $39.99, 33, 31. Okay. So what's interesting about this game is that it's developed by Hyde Inc. Digimon game, Forbidden Ground. That's interesting. It's a game by them, but not published by a big publisher. It's almost like a side project. Yeah, published by them. Interesting. It's and it just came out. It looks like it's a little like survival horror. Interesting. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here with this is the Hot Shots Golf. Actually, let me open it back up. Uses AI generation for its textures, and I'm the type that I don't care. Like, apparently they use the textures for like the grass, and it's like, that's fine. I don't really care. But we're seeing the reviews are mixed. So I'm looking at the reviews, and a lot of people are saying it just looks and runs bad. And coming from 2017 PS4 Everybody's Golf, this is an absolute downgrade in every aspect. Yeah, I was even listening to an IGN podcast, which I do from time to time. That's like, you listen to your left-wing commentators, your right-wing commentators. You listen to IGN every once in a while, right? And even IGN was saying that this seems like a downgrade compared to what came out, the last version that came out. And so I'm like, okay, you hear that from one, you read the reviews, and that's what's going on. So they're using the Unity engine. That's one thing to keep in mind. Bandai Namco did say that they are developing their own engine. That's something I forgot if I talked about it here. I came across it. They're developing their own engine right now that they're going to start using for games, which I think it's a great idea, but also doesn't make sense considering some of the things they've done in the past, unless those were cost-saving things like, not multi-platforming some games, using Unreal Engine. So this is using Unity, okay? It's using Unity AI generation. It's $40, which is not a full retail price, but would you say that's a budget price? I don't know. So I think it's just interesting between the people complaining that this doesn't meet the 2017 title, and that also used AI generation. This is an interesting example of really, and again, all of this could be the wrong opinion, but bottom of the barrel, let's just slap a game. I mean, they pretty much slapped two names of golf games together: Everybody's Golf and Hot Shots Golf. And they just slapped it together. And anyway, I still want to play this. It's probably going to be fun, but I just find it interesting. I do think this is part of this like inflection point in the games industry, coming off COVID, coming off of the big budgets, the change in the economy. I think we're seeing this shift where there's a bunch of these kind of junk games that are going to come out. They're ones that they had to cut corners, but they need to get them out to meet whatever quarterly profits, just because a lot of games got canceled. And so revenue needs to be made up in some way. So I think we're going to see what I would consider slop here for a little bit. And, not everything is going to be that, but I think it's going to happen more often than not. Now budget price is like 20 and lower to me. I agree with that. Yeah. I would say budget is 20. You could even say 25, maybe stretching it. But even I remember, was it Ninja 5.0 came out at 25 and I was like, 25? Nah. So, yeah, that's a good point. 20 is definitely, we're getting to that. Okay. What was I going to do? I was going to play something, or I was going to look up something, because I think I got through most of the news I was going to get through. Yeah. Maybe I should jump into something real quick then. You know what? It's again, I have to plan. Oh, you know what? I know what to do, actually. I know exactly what to do. I planned this on purpose just in case this happens. It's actually all my other information for today. Let's see. Let me. Okay. Okay. I was looking to see if any games have come out today, and it doesn't seem like it. Is that true? I'm gonna look up something here real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like I'm seeing the 15th is the next time, because we have Lego Voyagers on the 15th, which should be pretty fun. And then I got some other news items sent to me. Let's see if it's anything. Oh yeah, of course. Of course there's stuff. Okay. Sorry. So today due to boxing, like it's almost like last minute putting this stuff together, and I knew a couple things I wanted to talk about. Like for instance, Nintendo Direct yesterday got announced for tomorrow. Yeah. Apparently, it's going to be considered a big one. It's got 60 minutes of updates on upcoming Switch 2 and Switch games. So someone, oh yeah, let me actually pull that up again. If I had more time, I probably would have got more of this put together. Okay, so apparently, yeah, the next Mario movie, this is what I heard, is going to, it could be called or around Super Mario Galaxy. Kirby Planet Robobot Remaster is delayed into 2026. I think that makes sense because you're having 2 Kirby releases this year. Why it wouldn't make sense to have a third, but I want to say it's also that this Kirby Robobot wasn't actually confirmed. With Air Riders coming this year, odds favor Robobot slipping to 2026. Oh, okay. Huh. So, man, that's why sometimes I try not to use Reddit. Like, sure, you might have heard of Nate the Hate a lot. If you haven't, he's a guy that leaks things a lot. But a lot of times it's like obvious speculation. Okay. So then that's the thing with this Nintendo Direct tomorrow. We could see a trailer or an announcement for the Mario movie, Mario Galaxy movie, or a new Mario game, because I think Saturday is the Mario 40th, right? Oh, wrong button. Let me yeah, Nintendo Direct announced for this Friday on eve of Super Mario's 40th anniversary. So if Saturday is the 40th anniversary of Mario, what are the chances of getting some neat drop? So here's what it could be. Mario Galaxy movie trailer, and then the Mario Galaxy games. Now, I don't know if they would do a Wii virtual console where it's like Wii or, Nintendo Online, but the Wii thing, or would it be just the Switch version of the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2? Which would be awesome. Although I've beat both of the games, I don't know if I would play them again. I don't know if I'd play them again. So yeah, that would be interesting to see what happens based on that. The other thing, okay. So Acclaim, if you guys are familiar with Acclaim, long time. Actually, let me look that up real quick. Acclaim Entertainment. Founded in 1987. And I think for me, a lot of the main stuff was it like Turok or Mortal Kombat. Trying to think. Let's see. Games published. Don't want to look at their subsidiary. Okay. So interesting, Tiger Heli being one of their first, which is cool. That's, obviously them just publishing it, not developing it, but they knew what they were doing, especially with the list of games here. They even published a rare game on the NES. That's pretty interesting. When did I first could have been like Double Dragon? Let's see, Narc. Yes, Total Recall. Yeah, I think the NES is when, and all this is NES and Game Boy. Yeah, the Punisher NES, Bart Simpson vs. Space Mutants. Yeah, a lot of this stuff. Double Dragon 3. Yeah. So Acclaim was such a big deal early in the early video game, home console. One interesting thing about it is that they're primarily publishing, not necessarily developing on their own. I actually don't know. And they probably haven't yet. Just games published. I don't think they've actually developed anything. So they had this Acclaim game showcase, which, you know what? I like this idea. They're back. It doesn't seem different in terms of what they're doing. They're just publishing games. But some of these games either we're already familiar with or they're already released, but now we know they're under Acclaim. So we got Talaka, fast-paced combat-driven roguelite with Afro-Brazilian. Yeah, if it's a roguelite, I'm out. Grid Beat, Pixel Washer. So you play as Pixel, a pig with a power washer cleaning up a messy town. That seems pretty good. So let's just do... Wait a minute. Can you just... let's see. Pixel Washer on Steam. No date yet. But this looks fun. This looks like a power wash simulator, but 2D. Time to wash it all off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so this is an interesting and unique type of game that's good to have under a portfolio for a new publisher. I mean, this might not go anywhere. In fact, I even think the artwork for the game here, it's really hard to understand what's going on, and I don't think it stands out. But the actual artwork I'm seeing in-game looks great. See, there's a lot going on here that seems like it's going to be cozy and fun. I'm down with that. All right, Toss Down, survival delivery type action in a world full of hazards and enemies. Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate. Snowboarding, plus stylish cosmetics, downhill fun. That looks cool. And I even think, this was another one that was already announced. And I want to say I might have even covered it here. But yeah, this could be a lot of fun. Well, let's see. Okay. Ground Zero Hero. You know what? This, if I'm not mistaken, this looked cool, but then action roguelike, and I was like, wow. Yeah, there we go. It's that whole, it's one of those survival likes, action roguelike. Basketball Classics, 5-on-5. The Prisoning, Fletcher's Quest. So this is another example of, this fits perfectly with the idea of a company like Acclaim coming back, wanting to publish some games. Yeah, I remember seeing this in the thing yesterday. I was watching the trailer. This does look like it could be cool. We'll have to see. Developer Elden Pixels. I like that name. Oh wow, they did Awa's Awakening, and there's a Legacy. I didn't know that because I remember this was a newer one I found out about. Didn't I buy it? Because it doesn't say it's in my cart. That looks cool. 2017. Anyway, there's a lot of games there. And then here is the last one. Now, did I play the demo on here? And maybe I forgot. I think I played the demo. Or I just looked at a video. But basically, this seemed so awesome until... Yeah, and it doesn't have the tags here, but it does say in the description, action roguelite. And it's just... okay. So I think I figured out what it is. And someone explained it really well. There's a couple of things. So, actually, let me end it with this. Hollow Knight. I don't understand why I don't like Hollow Knight. And then so with Silksong, it's like, well, I'm going to play it anyway. It's a Metroidvania. I'll play it. And I still... So someone explained it really well. Hollow Knight is actually not a Metroidvania. On the surface, it has Metroidvania-looking things, but it really just plays like a Souls-like. So while I'm playing it, I'm like, why am I not enjoying this? It's because I have a different mindset. The other thing, when you play like a Castlevania Metroidvania, there's optional ways that you can go throughout and even skip things. But then there's always this part where it's like, well, I need to then find what to do. With Hollow Knight, it's typically just linear. It's just like, no, it's just you're going in order. You go here. So what I realize I am missing when I'm playing Hollow Knight is that real sense of exploration. So then I equate that to these roguelites, and it's the same thing. you go on a run, and then when you're done, it's like, okay, well, I start again. There's not like this kind of long-term strategy that I am seeing unfold in front of me because I'm having to reset every time. So it's almost like I prefer a game where my strategy, my plan is a full picture of the whole thing. When I'm playing a game where it's like you die and then you just start over to try to do better next time, like I would rather than just play a traditional game where it's level by level by level until I get the end, not repeating the same level until I get a little further and then a little further. You see what I mean? And I don't know how much this is a development thing, that it's easier for a game to be perceived to have more content because the nature of it being a roguelike and you have to repeat the beginning parts over and over. And that was my big issue with Rogue Flight or Flight Rogue or something, a flight game that came out like Star Fox, but I would have fun playing it. But then as soon as I would die, it's like, okay, I got to start the level again. It's like, I prefer games that are allowing you to continue to explore and see new things all the time. Um, so yeah, very interesting. Well, I think I'm gonna get out, guys. That was it for today. Um, oh yeah. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with some more. There's nothing big with gaming going on for the rest of the week. I think I'm gonna continue just to play Super Robot Wars Y. That's probably about it. So until tomorrow, all have a good one. See you later.